This is going to be a video on my Led Zeppelin CD collection, and I'm one of those suckers that every time they release a new remastered series or they release an album with bonus tracks, I'm sucked in to buy it. Even though I have it, I might have it 10 times over, I just can't help myself. But if I've got the means, I'm going to buy it. And so you'll see I've got pretty much every Led Zeppelin release dating back to when the CDs were originally released back in the early 80s. So I'll go through what I have. I'm not going to go into depth on each CD here, but I'll just kind of show you the basics. This was the first Led Zeppelin album on CD. It's got the yellow lettering here. It's the only CD release that has the yellow lettering. And then on the back, it's just got the track listing. And just a side note, I keep my CDs, even though if they're in jewel cases, in these little plastic sleeves that open up like that. I'm very particular about the condition of my CDs, and so I don't like them scuffed, I don't like them cracked, I like them to be in really pristine condition. And so I find by keeping them in these sleeves, even though it's like an additional step to have to open it up, but truth be told, on these early CDs, I'm not really playing much of these. They're just kind of for collector's sake. The ones that I do play are going to be the remastered versions because they have superior sound. But nonetheless, this is what this one looks like opened up. On these first Atlantic issues on CD of the Led Zeppelin catalog, the back cover is actually replicated on the back of the booklet, not on the back of the jewel case itself. So this is a fair reproduction of what the back cover of the vinyl album looked like, and then it's got the reflective CD there with the titles. This is Led Zeppelin 2. And Led Zeppelin 3 doesn't have the revolving wheel on these early ones, obviously. And what they used for the back here was actually taken from the gatefold. And the actual back cover of Led Zeppelin 3 is again reproduced on the back of the booklet. And then what some people call Led Zeppelin 4 or Four Symbols, Rooms, whatever. I've heard it called any number of different things. Nothing on the spine here that's printed. It just says Led Zeppelin. And then again, the back was taken from the gatefold, and it's got the track listing there. Houses of the Holy, with originally this was kind of like a wraparound, which you'll see on one of the later CD reissues. They just kind of stuck the stamp over here. I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. I love the lettering of this. I don't mind the way this cover looks, even though it kind of obscures part of the front cover image. And then the Physical Graffiti album, which is in a fat box form. And from what I understand, there is some subtle differences. I don't know, I don't even think it was to make it to fit on 2 CDs, but there are some parts of the studio chatter and just kind of extemporaneous music and things that were excised from this first CD issue of Physical Graffiti. I'm not sure why, but this was the first Led Zeppelin double album, obviously. And this is Presence. It's got Presence in the white lettering there, and the back taken from, again, gatefold. And the second Led Zeppelin double album was their soundtrack to their concert film. Song remains the same. This is also in the fat box. And then In Through the Outdoor, I really like the fact that they have this on here. It's sort of a hybrid of the paper bag cover and then what was actually on the inside sleeve. So I really like the fact that they included that. Although I've always, you know, I had this on cassette originally, and it had the paper bag cover on it, so it was a little hard to get used to this as the artwork because I didn't have the vinyl. The vinyl was one of the last things that I got this album on, but I really love this album, even though it was their last one with their last proper studio album. I think it's fantastic. This is the final Led Zeppelin, I don't call it studio album, but it's kind of cobbled together outtakes. Some of the more recent ones are like Wearing and Tearing and Ozone Baby and Darlene, which, had John Bonham lived, may or may not have found its way onto their next studio album. And then this is the Led Zeppelin box set, and I believe this was released in 1990. And it's got a nice booklet here with notes on the songs, history of the group, photographs, etc. I really like that picture. I think that's kind of cool. And then this also, which is just strictly, it's like a fold out with a picture collage. And then the, try to tip this up without knocking all the CDs out, but those are the CDs themselves. And then this was the second box set, which all the leftover tracks that weren't on the original Led Zeppelin box set found their way onto this one. And it's obviously a much smaller box. And the CDs. The back of the CDs look like. And then there is a pretty thick book right here. So, really, if you had these two box sets, you've got the entire Led Zeppelin catalog, and the sound is still amazing. So really, if you wanted to invest in both of those and you're not interested in owning the studio albums as standalone CDs, that might be the way to go. So Led Zeppelin's catalog got a well, it was remastered, but then they reissued them on standalone CDs. And this is the first Led Zeppelin album, and it has the lettering in red. And then the back cover doesn't take up the whole cover like it did on the original CD. And the tinting is a little more brownish than yellowish like it was before. And then on all these reissued CDs, they reproduce the beautiful Atlantic record label. And then the booklet just has song credits and not much more than that. This is Led Zeppelin 2. And with the original, the first CD issue of this, the gatefold, they reproduced the gatefold, but it was in black and white. And on this CD, they reproduced it in color. Not sure why they, it's probably a cost-saving measure why they did the first one in black and white. But this is the third Led Zeppelin album, and it's got a black border around it, unlike the original CD. And then again, the back cover is a little smaller. And then I'm still not able to, you know, do the little wheel and see all the pictures and the die-cut circles there. Fourth Led Zeppelin album. And the first Led Zeppelin album, I think, no, that would be Physical Graffiti. I was thinking this was on the Swan Song label, but this still has the old Atlantic label, but it does not have the Houses of the Holy logo here, Led Zeppelin. And it's got kind of a blown up picture of the back cover. And Physical Graffiti, this one not in a long box, this is in a slim double case, but it does have the Swan Song label here for the CDs. And most of these were issued through the BMG Record Club. This is Presence. And it actually, the front cover, it does not have Led Zeppelin or Presence here in white like the original issue does. And for In Through the Outdoor, it doesn't have the Led Zeppelin In Through the Outdoor title there either. And I would have liked to have seen, I know there were like 6 or 7 different covers of these with the each cover had a different perspective. You know, like one cover was the bartender's perspective, one cover was this guy in the white fedora's perspective, another cover had the lady standing, I believe it, you can kind of see her back there, her right there's perspective, and so this was the perspective of the bartender. So it's just a really cool concept. I don't know if Hypnosis designed it or whatnot, but I think it's really clever. And then Coda, and you can see the little bit of a difference. This is the original CD, and this is the remastered CD. Coda, the cover is blown up a little bit more. And the backs are pretty similar. Well, I guess not so much, but this has got a photograph here. But just to show you the difference between the first CD issue and the remastered. And then this was the BBC. This came in a box set, and it's got some interviews. Again, it's just one of those radio DJ interviews where you just hear the interview responses, and then there is somebody asking the question, but it's just a very, the person asking the question wasn't actually there in the room with them. It's just somebody they got to do to voice over the question. But open this up, and this is the actual CD itself, which has 2 CDs. And then this is the interview. Sorry about the glare, but and I know since this was released, they have a more expanded version of the BBC. I don't know if it's 3, I think it might be 3 disc. And then this is How the West Was Won, which was an excellent, this is a triple disc set. Could have almost made this a box set, but it's just got some really great material on here. It's really, I think most people prefer this to The Song Remains the Same album, because there's more variety in the songs. And then most recently, this was a couple years ago, forgive me for not knowing the dates, but again, they came out with another remastered series of Led Zeppelin CDs, and you could either get these as a single disc or as the double disc with bonus tracks. I opted to splurge on the double CD with the bonus tracks, and so for each of these you have the original album cover, and then on the back you have kind of a photo negative of the original. And I'll show you what one of these looks like. So it's got where the CD goes in, they replicate the back cover, they've got some extra photographs, and then the second CD with the bonus tracks is here, and it's on the Atlantic. The CD label is the classic Atlantic label. So I'm not going to open all these CDs up, but this was the Led Zeppelin 2, and then kind of the color scheme is reversed, so it's I guess a cool way to reproduce that. This is Led Zeppelin 3, and the back cover there. Fourth Led Zeppelin album. And Houses of the Holy with the band. This slips off. It's like a slip-off band, and then you can open the CD up and see what's inside. See the original cover, and then of course the negative image, as it were. Presents. And this is more, I don't know, this has got like day glow colors or whatever added to that. And then I threw this in here. This, I don't know if it was released as part of this reissue series, but this is actually an expanded version of Song Remains the Same. And it's got songs that weren't on the original double CD soundtrack that were in the film, like Heartbreaker. It's got The Ocean. It has Misty Mountain Hop, Over the Hills and Far Away. So just a much better. I much prefer to listen to this because it's got a larger repertoire of songs, and that is a double CD. And then strangely, I don't see, oh, I know what it is. The anyway, the In Through the Outdoor actually has it's back there, I'm not going to go fetch it, but it's got the original paper bag cover for that one, which is pretty cool. And this is obviously Coda right here. And then Celebration Day, which was the sort of reunion concert of sorts with Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, and John Paul Jones. This is a double CD. Really enjoyable concert because I do stuff on here, you know, songs like Ramble On, For Your Life is on here. Tracks that I don't believe they ever incorporated into their live set before, so it's a really enjoyable listen. And there was also a DVD here for that. So that's my Led Zeppelin CD collection. And I've got other videos where I've got vinyl and cassette stuff mixed in there. I might do a separate cassette video at some point in the future later. But as always, I appreciate your comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope everyone is safe and well.